Shalom, brothers and sisters who have arrived here on this channel. Brothers and sisters here, in this live stream that I have for you guys, it's something very important for you guys to pay attention on this specific date. Because if the rapture does not happen by November 11, which is 11/11, then we would have passed the biggest prophetically, mathematically, biblical coincidence that we have ever seen so far. Because on this date, the 11th of November, we have a lot of prophecies, a lot of convergence happening to this specifically date that points for us to be the correct moment to expect the rapture. We cannot put our dates, our faith into dates. However, this date here is too strong for us to just pass without having a hope or a big expectation for it, because there are a lot of signs here pointing to this moment in time that I will explain for you guys shortly. Just before I begin here this live stream, guys, I work late at night here in Brazil and we almost got robbed with armed hands. So I guess this video that I'm doing for you guys here right now is a miracle by itself, because we almost got stopped by two guys walking in the street here. They had a handgun and they pointed to us. They literally almost robbed us. I just kept on going, and the guy had the shot. He could have shot me and my wife here, that we were together doing a delivery service here in Brazil. And for God's sake, thank you for all your prayers. We didn't get shot here. Man, what just happened here is something that we're still recovering here from this experience that we just had. So awful experience that we had just got here delivering. We almost got robbed. So I guess this is a very important message that I have to show you guys, because the enemy almost got the shot in me, and I wouldn't be able to be here. So thank you, God, for protecting me and my wife here, because we were very threatened by this situation that just happened to us here. So now that I explained to you guys here, let me go to the video. And I'm going to point here to this date, which is very important for us for several reasons. The first reason that is very important is because for us, this will be the 17th day of the 7th month. So the 17th day of the 7th biblical month, which is Tishrei. And this for itself is a very important date, because if you remember, Jesus resurrected on the 17th day of the first month, 3 days after the Feast of Unleavened Breads. For us, it will be 3 days after the beginning of Tabernacles, the 17th day of the 7th month. And we know that the 7th month was once the first month, and the first month was once the 7th month. This was changed with Moses. So the 17th day of the 7th month by itself is a very important date, because it's a mirror date from the date that Jesus resurrected with the Old Testament saints. So this by itself is a very important date. For the Jews, however, they are 1 month in advance from us that are looking at the sky clock based on the sun, moon, and stars. So for the Jews, this month, this date here will be the anniversary for the deluge, for Noah's Ark. So I'm going to show you here on their calendar. So we have here November 2022. For the Jews, they are calling this month the Heshvan, which is the 8th month, used to be the 2nd month. So on Heshvan 10, so November 4th for us, that's when Noah entered the ark. For us, the 10th day of Tishrei is the day of the judgment, the day of atonement, the day that the judgment is passed. So the day that Noah entered the ark for us was the day of judgment. And on the 17th day for them, the Heshvan for us will be Tishrei, or the third day of Tabernacles, will be 11/11, and that's when Noah's ark, that's when the deluge started. The flood from Noah started this date. So grace ended here, and that's the anniversary for the grace to end. So by itself, this date here is very important for us that are seeing the sky clock and the correct dates based on sun, moon, and stars, and for the Jews that are 1 month in advance. For them, it will be the end of the grace, the end of grace, the beginning of the flood, beginning of flood of tribulation. So 11/11, very significant for us in these two categories here. What else? We also are within the 11th shemitah cycle. A shemitah cycle is a 7-year cycle that were instituted by God since the beginning. So the weekdays, we have 7 weekdays, we have 7 rainbow colors, we have 7 notes, musical notes. 7 is very important for God. It's a perfection number, and a shemitah cycle is a 7-year cycle. We just entered here on the 11th shemitah cycle, which is 11 means judgment. So since Israel's rebirth, we entered the 11th shemitah cycle, and that's very relevant for us because if this year is to be a jubilee year, which is the 50th year after the 7 times 7 cycle, which it seems like it is because it is divisible by 49 the previous year, 5782. Then on the shemitah cycle, precisely on the Day of Atonement, that's when they play the trumpets. That's when the cycle begins. So if this is a jubilee year, precisely for them when Noah entered the ark, and for us the Day of Judgment, that's when the 7 years started. So precisely on November 4th, 10th of Tishrei, and for them 10th of Heshvan, that's when the cycle started, starting the 7 years there. So very relevant, since the Israel rebirth, the judgment is beginning here. The 7 years judgment, the 11th shemitah is beginning here. Already began on the 4th of November, 4 days ago. And also this is very relevant because we are entering here the UN 2030 agenda. That's the new world order agenda for them to control the whole world and implement 30 actions there that will make the population decrease and will make people abide to their laws, their new laws. So the UN 2030 agenda is very significant for us because on January 2023 they will have exactly 7 years to implement this new world order agenda, UN 2030 agenda, which is the United Nations. So all of the nations in the world uniting for one common cause, the UN 2030 agenda. And in Brazil here, the Supreme Court, which is censoring many Brazilians. Actually, the situation here, I have to tell you guys, Brazilians are still protesting. Many people are still in the streets protesting. They are in front of headquarters, general military headquarters, asking the military to intervene in this situation here, because we all believe that the election was rigged. It's clearly rigged because the leftist does not have 60 million people voting for him. He has like a minority, and the majority of people is like right wing that follows the Bible and Jesus. So that's the majority, and that's why people are still protesting here heavily. But the mainstream media around here, they are not telling anything to us. They are just ignoring what's happening, and that's because they are also censoring with the Supreme Court, because they do not want people and the world to know what happened here. So this is what's happening here, and I just realized that the Supreme Court, they are here in Brazil, they are approving, they are with the UN 2030 agenda. That's what's happening. So it is noted that this is happening here. So two things already mentioning here, very important dates here for us, 11/11. What else? We are here about to enter Israel's 75th birthday since their creation. So they were created in the UN on 29th of November 1947. So if you add 75 years to that date, we get to 29th of November 2022. They will be 75 years in the 29th of November, very shortly here. And this date is very important because this year is very important because Abraham, which is the father of the Jews, father of Israel, he left his country when he was 75 years of age. So God told Abraham to leave his family and his country when he was 75. So this is a very important number and year for us to pay attention, because the rapture happening here in the beginning of November, so Israel will have to flee Jerusalem when he is about his 75 years of old. So very important situation here with Israel. And also on Israel situation, we also have the number 2220. 2220 is very important for us because of so many reasons. So 222 is the voice of God in Hebrew, and when you add a 0 after that, that means a completion or the full revelation of, or full situation of that voice. So I remember to have shown you guys on my previous videos this video here on my channel. So on my channel here you have English videos, and I started doing videos this year, but the beginning, one of the first videos I did in English was this one here, called "We Can't Stretch It Any Longer." It's a 22. Let me see if it's still here. Here it's 22. Take a look. 22, 22. 2022, 22. So it's 2220 again. Interesting. So we are on the verge of fulfilling prophecy. We can't stretch it anymore. So on this video I did 5 months ago for you guys, I basically explained the importance of the number 2220 and how it relates to the year 2022. I entered an in-depth study about this, and now I'm going to just show a little bit of that study for you guys to remember, to refresh what we have already learned here. So let me just put a full screen here, and this is the video that I did for you guys on the importance of this year. And these were the reasons why we couldn't stretch any longer. We could actually stretch all the way until here, but I believe now we cannot stretch it any longer. So there are several reasons for why we cannot stretch it. Because of fig tree generation, Israel rescue at 80 years pattern, shemitah cycles, which we just said, 7 good years and 7 bad years, the cycle as well, I said in the previous video. Number 222 prophecy, Suleiman the Sultan on 1538, year 5782 prophecy, nuclear threats, UN 2030 agenda, Revelation 12 sign. Also, Revelation 12 sign is very important because it happened on 2017, and 5 years from 2017, it's now 2022. So this is also relevant because of the flood, because Lamech, which is Noah's father, he died with 777 years, and 5 years after his death, the flood came. So the Revelation 12 sign happened on 5777 according to the Jews, the Jewish year. 5 years after, it's right now 2022. We just passed the the 5782 mark to 5783. So we are on the verge for this pattern to be fulfilled. But I also remember to have shown you guys here the Psalms 122, 2022 prophecy. I'm going to go here real quick on these studies here. So the fig tree generation, Israel independence was in 1948. They will have up to 81 years until 2029, and the 80 years prophecy means that they will be 80 from 2028 all the way until the end of 2029. So that's the moment. We cannot stretch it any longer because 7 years less. It's right now 2022. So this is something very relevant here for us. Shemitah cycles I just told you guys here. Since Israel's creation and independence, we are right now on the 11th cycle since their creation and independence, and now on the 8th cycle since their recapture of Jerusalem. Also 69 cycles since the Jerusalem walls reconstructions, 354 cycles since the prophecy has been given to Daniel, 10 jubilees since Judah ben Samuel prophecy, and that's a lot of things already. But the number 222 prophecy here, so that's the thing that I wanted to show you guys. So voice of God is in Hebrew 2022. Now we know that we hear, the first time we hear the voice of God is on Exodus 19, when he is on Pentecost, ready to make a wedding alliance here with the people. So the voice of God is heard. Also Jesus resurrects Lazarus with his voice calling him out of the tomb. On Revelation 4, the voice of God is heard as a trumpet sound, and an open door is seen in heaven saying, "Come up." The chariot that took Elijah to heaven has also the numeric value of 222. Now, Psalms 121, representing the year 2021, has a numeric value of 2220. A maximum fulfillment of 222, the voice of God, and also Psalms 1222 or 122, verse 2, says that our feet are inside Jerusalem's gate already. So 1000 to 222 is fulfillment as well. So there are a lot of things about this number 222. I will give you guys a little bit of the Pastor Sandy studies after I finish up this video here. Also, the year 5782 is very significant for us here because we just passed it, and it's the only year that we have the dove, which is the Holy Spirit, Jesus, which is our Messiah, and the sons of God, which is 153, the fishes from John 21:11. So many situations here that shows us that we are on the verge of this happening because of so many prophecies, so many prophecies. So this is the video that I did for you guys. You guys can watch it more in depth here on this video that I made for you guys 5 months ago, 2022-22. Now going back here to the video I'm making. So 2220, it's right now the moment for us to expect the maximum fulfillment of the voice of God. Also, what else? We have a famine sign happening here in the sky, starting now. For me here in Brazil, it's already the 8th of November. It's 12:54 a.m. So it's already the 8th of November, and in a few hours we will see a blood moon happening in the skies here. But I'm gonna show you guys the Stellarium app so you guys can see here what's going on with skies. So let's go here. So right now, if we go to now, so it's already midnight here, we are seeing the beginning of the famine sign here happening in the skies. Also, this is from my video, my previous video, number 3422, which I showed you guys the seals of the apocalypse happening in the skies. So the seals of the apocalypse here, something happened in the skies and precisely in the earth as well. That's what I showed you guys here, being that a representation of the seals that will be opened or not. That's what I showed you guys in this video, which is almost 2 hours long. And we are now waiting for the sign of the third horseman, which is famine. And he comes with a scale. And the sign in the scale in the sky is happening here, starting today, going all the way until the 11th day here, which will be fulfilled here inside the scales in the sky. So this is a very important sign that it's going to be happening on 11/11 here, which shows us that famine is coming right in the starting of this 7-year shemitah cycle, and this is coming together with the next thing here that I have to say to you guys, which is the lamb's blood. So going back to Stellarian here, this is very interesting, guys. So from today, the 8th of November 2022 is when the sun is on the scales, and that's when the moon is completely full. So as you can see here, the moon will be here in the lamb completely full, which is the middle of a month, which is tabernacles for us. The middle of the 7th month is tabernacles, the feast of tabernacles, the feast of ingathering. So that's when we gather all our harvest in the year and bring to the tabernacle of God. So that's the representation of the feast of tabernacles for us. And today here, starting today, the moon precisely here in the lamb. But take a look what's going to happen shortly. We will see that the moon in a few hours from now will turn blood red. So what this is showing us here, this is showing us that the blood moon in the lamb is being judged while the sun here is on the scales. So those that are covered by the blood's lamb are in one side, and those who are not covered by the blood's lamb are in the other side. One are justified, the other are not justified. That's why we know this is the 7th month, because the sun is precisely here in the scales, and the blood moon is precisely here in the lamb. Now this is very significant for us, because the blood of the lamb, also Jesus, which is our lamb, he shed his blood on the 14th day of the first month. So the 14th day of the first month, which is Passover. Now today is the 14th day of the 7th month, which used to be the first month. So in the same 14 pattern here, on the 7th month instead of the first month, the blood lamb, the blood moon is happening precisely on the lamb. And that's exactly 3 days away from 11/11, which is the 17th day of the 7th month for us. But on the 17th day of the first month, that's when Jesus resurrected. So the blood moon on the lamb happening here precisely 3 days before 11/11, which is here pointing for us the blood of the lamb being judged here. And we can expect a resurrection to happen 3 days after this, precisely on 11/11. And to add this information, we are seeing here a conjunction with the blood moon and Uranus. Uranus is precisely Uranus, which is heaven. So the blood of the lamb being judged here on the 14th day, tabernacles, which used to be the 14th day of the first month, used to be ancient Passover, That's what's happening here. The fourth thing, closer to heaven, and we can expect a resurrection to happen 3 days later on the 17th day, just like it happened in the Passover with the Passover lamb. So in the sky, there are a perfect representation of Jesus, his blood, heaven, and the judgment happening here, with the sign 3 days later of famine happening here on 11/11 as well. This is very significant for us. This is very unique. I don't think this will happen again in a long time. And in all the situations that we are seeing with politics around the world, with nuclear threats, North Korea, Taiwan, and Russia, and the sky, and also the patterns that we are seeing, I don't think this can go past any longer, because it is too much evidence for us not to believe and have a great expectation on this date. So a lot of reasons here that I have shown you guys of why this 11/11 is so important for us and so relevant for us. And this does not stop here, because we have even more information that add to this 11/11. For example, 11 is judgment, I have shown you guys, and 11 times 11 is 121. And if you remember, 121, it's Psalms 121, which has a value of 2220. What else? We also know that there are 22 Hebrew letters. Divided in half is 11 to one side and 11 to the other side. And the rapture happens precisely in the middle, in the division of them both, because on Psalms 119 we have all the 22 letters, and the 11th letter, which is Kaf, and the 12th letter, which is Lamed, the following letter, Kaf goes down and Lamed goes up. So this is what Pastor Sonny is showing us in his videos. And also on Psalms 119, the two verses that divide here, the 11th from the 12th letter, so Kaf and Lamed. Let me show you guys here. So Kaf, the 11th letter, and Lamed, the 12th letter. The verse 88 and 89 together, they also add up to, if I'm not mistaken, 2220, or they add up to the same value as a passage here that also adds to 1220. So a lot of confirmation here from Pastor Sandy as well. That's why I say that if the rapture does not happen by 11/11, then that would be the biggest coincidence we have ever seen, both mathematically, prophetically, biblically, and worldly, I would say. So going here into Pastor Sandy notes from the 26th of October, he gave us a lot of information as well that add to what we are seeing here. So 12 apostles fishing for 153 fish. 153 is the church, are the fishes that are fished by the apostles. 7 churches will go to the king. So the letter for fish has 12. Its value is 12. From Genesis chapter 1 in Hebrew, the first 12 verses have exactly 153 words. So the Bible is not just a grammatical document, but it's also a mathematical document, which shows us truths that are invisible to the naked eye. Let's say, let's put it that way. What else? Noah has a value of 58, but if you read Noah, which means rest, from left to right, it means grace, which also has a value of 58. Now the numbers here of pi, if you add the 12 first numbers after the point here of pi, sums up to 58, which is grace. prime numbers. There are a lot of confirmations here from Pastor Sandy on the numbers of pi, on composite numbers, prime numbers. We have a confirmation here also from Adam and Lamech. So Adam died when he was 930 years, and Lamech, Noah's father, died with 777. If you subtract them both, also we get 153, which is the sons of God. He put it here. Benai Ha Elohim, the numbers of the sons of God, which is also the church, the ecclesia. A lot of confirmations here. Also, the first books of the Bible has exactly 153 chapters. He believes the 2017 was a 6,000 year, and we are now 5 years later. So precisely when 5 years after the death of 777 is when the flood came. So a lot of confirmations here from Pastor Sandy as well for this moment of time. Let me see here what else I can show you guys, which wouldn't be too deep to look. He has confirmation even on the speed of light, on triangles, number of pi, a lot of confirmation here. Very interesting. I highly recommend you guys to watch Pastor Sandy and digest his information there, which is very relevant information for us. Unfortunately, he believes, like the Jews, that they are in the Heshvan month, but I believe this is also important, relevant, because for the Jews would be the end of grace. Well, basically, the number 11 is very significant for us in the Bible. Also, Revelation have 22 chapters, which is the 22 letters of Hebrew alphabet. Many things that are very relevant for us. That points at this date here. It's too much for us to pass. If this date passes and the rapture does not happen, I don't think we will have such an amazing alignment of patterns in the Bible, patterns in the world, and patterns here with numbers and gematria, biblical gematria, that we will see so soon. This is a very relevant date for us, especially now seeing that the blood of the lamb, or the blood moon in the lamb, will be precisely 3 days before this date here, which will point to the famine sign, the sign of the third horseman of the apocalypse, which is famine. And we are seeing in the world, in Brazil as well, on South America, and I believe today here on the 8th of November we will see something in North America as well that will point for a great famine to come. Also, if you guys remember, The Economist had a cover that says that famine is coming. Let me see if I can find here online. Here, The Economist had this cover here that was pointing to the coming food catastrophe with wheat and skulls here. So they are planning also the coming famine, which is a necessary thing for the new world order to implement its government. It's a necessary thing for them to do this. But I believe they will do this after the rapture. As soon as the rapture happens, many people will be caught unaware, by surprise, And once this is finished, then the great deception will come, and I believe it will be in the form of aliens or something like that. Now, if you guys remember here, so this is the menorah. This is the candlestick from the Jews here, from the Bible, and the first resurrection happened on the 17th day of the first month, and as a mirror date, the 17th day of the 7th month, which used to be the first as well, is a perfect date for the second resurrection, the resurrection of grace, especially when it falls for the Jews, the date that grace has ended with Noah, especially this. And if you guys remember, the world religions will unite on Mount Sinai 2 days after the 11/11, which will be on 13th of November. They will go to Mount Sinai to ask for the 10 commandments of the climate change. So they are asking for 10 commandments from Mount Sinai to God for climate change, and this is a perfect date for the great deception to come. But this deception will be enough to unite the whole world into one big religion, which will be the religion of the Antichrist. So this is something that is happening this year in particular, and I don't think this will pass, guys, because we are seeing here too much of a coincidence, let's put it that way, too much of a convergence for this moment right now that we will not see next year, for example, because 2023 is not 2022, which means mounting in Strong's concordance. 2022 is mounting. So we are seeing all of this happening here. And in this chart that I made you guys, also the Feast of Tabernacles is the last feast possible for harvest. After this feast, we enter the November raining season in Israel, which is considered to be winter, and from that on until May next year, we don't see any harvest, only sowing. So this is the last possible date for this year for a harvest to happen. Also, a last possible date for a major feast that hasn't been fulfilled yet to be fulfilled. So Tabernacles, the third day of Tabernacles, just like on the third day of unleavened breads, Jesus resurrected. That's when we can expect the rapture to happen. And that's the last possible moment for this year for our harvest to happen. After that, I don't think we will be seeing a rapture happening in the winter time. It could happen, but I don't see it coming all the way until 2023, and then in 2023 in May, when the harvest season reopens, it's too late for patterns. There are a lot of patterns that won't go through the 2023 mark. So that's why on this moment we are right now, it is the most important moment for us to watch, because there's so many signs in heaven, so many signs in patterns, so many signs in everywhere basically. We are seeing this convergence for the rapture to happen right now. I don't know it will happen. I believe it will. Finally, I believe it will, but we will have to see for ourselves and see what is God's move. But basically, there are a lot of patterns that won't follow up till next year if it doesn't happen right now. And what else I have to show you guys here? I think that's basically it. Remembering the sky clock, we'll be seeing here the sun in the scales and the full moon, which will be the blood moon today, in 6 hours from now, in the lamb. That's why we know we are precisely on the middle of the 7th month. And that's basically it. I'm gonna now go and open for you guys here the the chat for we to talk and chat a little bit for the next minutes here, so we can be together for questions and answers as well. I'll just put the chat here. Also, I forgot to mention, November used to be the ninth month. So we have October, which is Octo, comes from 8. September comes from Septo, which is used to be the 7th month. So September the 7th, October the 8th, November the 9th, and December the 10th. So November used to be the ninth month. So 11/11 used to be 9/11, which is very significant as well for the Illuminati people to do something on this date. So now let's put here the chat, and I'm here available. Shalom, brothers and sisters here from everywhere. We are on a high watch, expecting the rapture here to happen anytime now. Let me go here. And let me see what you guys are saying here. Blood Moon 3-day warning, possible. I believe it is. Greetings from Ethiopia. Shalom from Brazil, brother here. And Desalgin. Off Back in the Future, 88 miles per hour. I remember this movie. The latest watch after that would probably be 12/21. Yeah, I know that there are also Shemini Atzeret, which is the 22nd day of the 8th day of Tabernacles, which is the 22nd day of this month. For us, we'll be falling here on November 15 and 16. But the pattern 11/11, it's just too perfect for us to pass here. So let's see what God Jesus do. 2017 plus 5, 2022 precisely. Hello, Kathy from Ethiopia. Shalom from Brazil. Anyone here ever heard of Anunnakis? Yes, they are the offspring of the fallen angels. They will most likely be come back again in their full form here on the tribulation. We have seen some dreams where they will come back. They will show themselves. 1948, 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 8, 22, precisely as well. Dunamis 333, live in London. Shalom from Brazil here. Hope means confidence, whether dead or alive, or positive exit resurrection. Let's see here. Note, 11 November is 11/11, 11/11, 4 times judgment. Yes, 4 times chaos. Yes, precisely. 4 times rebellion, disorder. The exit resurrection will happen. Day of starvation here. No, famine, which is man-made, though their intended shortage in Black Horse also man-made. I believe that as well. All there happened at the same time. Daniel 8:23, as well as 153 fishes, and the 33% of falling angels. Did Ricardo say what the conjunction in Taurus was? Yes, I did in the end of the video. I believe it was in 2024 that the conjunction that will happen in Taurus, in the bull. 2024, in the horn of the bull. Uranus, Sun, Saura, backwards. Faith alone in Christ alone for eternal life. Amen. Check out Supernatural by Design latest video. He made some incredible discovery with his Uranus alignment, happening on the exact date as Hiroshima, also on Tuesday. Interesting. I will be checking this channel here. So then on D23. Why wouldn't all loving God be angry? He's angry at sin. He's angry at the mocking. He's angry at the situation which men are right now. A lot of countries allowing the termination of pregnancy in the fetal stage. You cannot say it clearly here, but you understand. So many reasons may make God angry. You can see that on Noah's time, God repented from making men as well. So he got sad and angry as well. Share the gospel after believing. No, December begins the winter in Israel. Precisely. Can anyone comment if a true believer in Christ says something concerning the book of Revelation that he shouldn't have said, adding or taking away the starting prophecy? There is a passage there that said that whoever adds or take away from the book of Revelation, the plagues will be added or the blessings will be taken from the guy who does this. I believe the people that are saying that there are no rapture, there are no millennial kingdom, those are the ones doing this, and the tribulation is expecting them for doing this. We don't have another 8 months. I surely don't believe in 8 months in ahead. Hello everybody. Signs here. November 9 destruction. If you ever coded Revelation unknowingly, the Lord will forgive you, yes. The bull for name is him. He is mad at the enemy and wants to show that he is God. Amen. Let me go here. Okay, if this date comes and goes, then all future high watch dates end. There are no more dates, days or math in the immediate future. That's my opinion as well, brother, in my opinion, because we have been through so much to be here right now. We have seen so much. The convergence is it's too big for us not to for nothing to happen. So we have seen things happening in the sky and precisely happening in Earth as well. The next one is coming on 11/11 as well. We have seen patterns being fulfilled. There are no reason why it wouldn't be fulfilled right now as well. So math, the gematria in the Bible, the prophecies, and the things that we are seeing and studying right now, they're all converging to this point. We definitely cannot stretch it any longer because passing here November, we entered a no major feasts moment until next year and no harvest time until next year as well. So I don't know if this passes. I have no idea what God will do, but we have to wait and expect on Him. After all, He's the one doing this. But I believe He gave us a special date, which is a perfect date aligning to His picture here with the blood of the Lamb here on the 8th. Precisely here with Uranus, which is heaven. So this is a perfect scenario happening in the sky. So I believe that's his mark for us to understand that it's coming. The rapture doesn't have to come on a feast day. It can come anytime. God says, I believe it will come when the bombs drops, which will be soon. Truly, I say that it can come at any time, but the feasts here are very important for Him, not to use the pattern that He has made since the beginning of the world. So it is just as it is likely to happen on a feast date, it is likely to happen also on not on a feast day, but the rapture itself will be a feast date regardless. So it is very important here, and I believe the bombs will drop anytime now. If you guys have watching the news in North Korea, that's something that is escalating quickly here. Thank you so much, brother. Love this, love you to go. Let's go home. Shalom, Sister Laura. God bless you as well. UN Food Chief 2023 is hell on earth. Climate hell means tribulation and judgment, truly. the full red moon eclipse as well, happening in 6 hours from now. It will be falling on the Feast of Tabernacles, and it is the last blood moon of the tetrad 2021 and 2022, which we discover on the previous video here I did as well. So the hidden tetrad that I've shown you guys, 2022-30, and the similarities with the Second World War. Here, identical scenario is something out of this world as well. So two more patterns that we are seeing that simply cannot pass. What else here? I'm new here as well. This is my first time on live. I'm so grateful for all you do. Shalom, Sister Jamie. Shalom, God bless you as well. Thank you for responding. See, he made all and is all loving. How can he have enemies? Those who make themselves enemies of God. So the enemy of our souls, he chose the path to be enemy of God because he chose hate and God is love. So just like water and fire, they are enemies in a way because one cannot exist within the other, or the positive and the negative cannot exist together. It's something on that line. So the enemies, they themselves make themselves enemies of God. Look at Roman 10 month calendar. November is the 9th month. Yes, November used to be the 9th month, which 11/11 will be precisely 9/11. 14/9/2022, full moon means 15th day of the 9th month. Mount Sinai stuff happening on the 13th, right in the window. It's wild. Yes, and 13, I believe it's rebellion, so that's another date here as well. Those are also the dates of the flood. 11 carbon commandments from Pope. I especially love the 4th, thou shalt take thy bus. Some had dreams we were taken in a bus to be in the clouds. I'm standing on the bus stop. Come on, Lord Jesus. Amen. November 9 meaning 9 in Latin. 9, then November 11/9. As well, the reserve here in Australia, which is the date, then month. 11/9/9/11. In Brazil, that's just like that as well. The day first, then the month. During starting the pulpit, always be sure to verify things that God would check out. Excellent, excellent. Shalom. Full moon always on the 15th of every month. Many things from Tokyo. Shalom from Brazil. People from Tokyo. From Japan. Amazing to see people from everywhere here. Greetings, blessings. Nemesis, for every positive there is a negative. As for God, it's always fair. Watch Nagin Philippines. Shalom from Brazil, Philippines. It's a November. November. Nice. We fly up as the judge starts at the church. Then mirror is in heaven as heaven shakes and stars, angels fall. Sons of God, thank you. (2022) Hebrew calendar, second week of the 9th month. Sons of God. November rain is all about the bride, secular mockery. Guns N' Roses. Yes, November rain. Ricardo, from 4th of December solar eclipse 2021, looks an engagement ring. The 8th of November 2022, the blood moon is exactly 340 days away. 340 Strong's Greek is to restore, to renew, which happens with the rapture. Very interesting. Thank you, sister, here for this information. 340 restore, renew. Yes, it does look like an engagement ring. It's in the annular solar eclipse. Very interesting. 300 for Celsius does not sound as Jacob's trouble. I can see a high watch. I could watch after this all day. 12/21/2022 will be 2 years from the Bethlehem Star on 2020. Yes, precisely. 2 years, that's when the wise men from the east came to see Jesus as well. Very interesting here. Thank you, sister. Let me see what else you guys have here. April 2023 Passover is for the 75 years of Israel. That would also be perfect for the resurrection. Some people here in Brazil as well, they always expect on Passover, but I believe Passover has already passed, so it's unlikely that God will do again on the same date. I like the date of 11/11 because it will be a perfect mirror date from Passover, so it's very interesting here. And I cannot see us going past in 2023. I'm going home way, Maranatha brothers. There's a movie called Hell's Gate 11/11, made in 2004. 11:15 Golgotha. High blessings, shalom here. Moon is month. 15 days, Daniel 7 week, 49 years, expired on November 5th. The year of the Messiah and the Prince, the Jubilee year began the Day of Atonement on November 6th. Our second week. Hello from Idaho. Shalom. Denise, USA. Hello, Sister April. Okay, I got here at the end of the chat. Before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord, we are living in the rapture of the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles. Why first day, brother? Doesn't it start with the full moon here? On the 8th, with the blood moon as well? Thank you. Any moment now. Occupied can come. Ricardo 2020, the bird thing started worldwide. Look above. True. Let me see. That's it, brothers and sisters. We have 1 hour here live stream. I thank you all for being here together with us, hoping, expecting. Most of you guys since a long time. Me myself have been waiting since 2016-ish. I have been making videos since 2017 as well, teaching and guiding the people here in Portuguese towards the information that brothers and sisters in English was passing. I found Pastor Sandy channel a great blessing for me as well, and many brothers and sisters as well. I have a video to watch from Dr. Barry. I can't wait to watch. He's also pointing to this date here, the 11/11, and I believe we're all watching here because it's too much of a coincidence, too much of a convergence for it not to happen. So we are looking at this, we are seeing everything fulfilling here. I cannot see how we go past this. We cannot stretch it any longer as well. And we are very soon to see the blood moon, which is the last blood moon, the tetrad, and we are soon to see the rapture of the church, I believe, the 3rd day after the blood moon, so 3 days warning after this blood moon. Thank God for protecting us, for being in here. We almost got shot today, so it is a protection from God, so I'm able to make this video for you guys here. I almost got shot. You guys, I told you this in the beginning. It was the first time I saw somebody pointing a gun at me. It was today, precisely on the 8th of November, the day of the blood moon. So I believe the enemy is very mad at us because we kept our faith, we maintained our hope, and we are now ready to leave and ready to take his place in heaven as he is cast down to cause the tribulation here. So if we go on the 11th, 2 days later, on the third thing, the religions of this world will ask for the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. That's a perfect moment for him to appear to them as an angel of light and deceive many who will be caught unaware. I believe also the bombs will fall shortly after we leave, because I believe our rapture event will also bring an EMP, a giant EMP in the whole world. So we are about to witness this moment. Finally, brothers and sisters, I believe this is it. I hope to see all of you guys there in the air once Jesus comes in the clouds to gather us, to harvest us. I believe it will be very shortly here, and I hope to see all of you guys there. I don't don't see it going past this moment here, but even if it does, keep your faith alive, because as the world is going, as we are seeing the world going, even though it could pass, let's put it that way, I don't think we'll be here much longer, because the world is crazy right now. The world is totally crazy. So Maranatha to all you guys, brothers and sisters. God bless you all from all over the world watching this video here. I hope to see you guys there in the clouds in the wedding supper of the Lamb very shortly. And we will be together forever there in an amazing party that will be unlike anything we have ever seen here in this earth. Maranatha, I'm gonna be living here, but I hope to see you guys very, very shortly. We are days away. I don't think we'll be having time to make another video, so this might be the last video on earth, but we'll be together very shortly. Maranatha, God bless each and every one of you, and I can't wait to be there with all of you guys. Maranatha.